Hey, Supernatural fans. I know this was an emotional last 2 episodes. Alexis and I can't wait to discuss them with you right now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Thank you for choosing Along the Watchtower.
I had to do it. I needed something that would bring me joy because this episode, I just stopped crying before the show because it was just too much.
I've been holding my breath all night long.
I'm mad at you, Supernatural writers. I'm so mad.
It's so hard. Seeing that, the last episode was titled All Along the Watchtower. But when you hear that intro music come in for Carry On My Wayward Son and you see what's gone on this past season, I'm like, oh my God, but we need to play Carry On My Wayward Son. But thank you for choosing.
We had to do it.
Yes.
We had to do it.
Hey guys, Alexis and I are here. We're going to talk with you guys all about tonight's finale, the last 2 episodes of Supernatural. My name is Lyndsey Wegner. You can tweet me at Lyndsey Wegner, and I'm joined by Alexis Torres.
Hey everybody, I am in mourning, as you can tell, because I've got Cassie's dress on and I'm wearing all black, but you guys can find me crying in a corner at Torres890. It's so bad, you guys.
I wore flannel.
No, as you should.
Today,
I was thinking about it.
I wore a dress because I was like, well, it's the finale, so I have to wear a dress, but I was like, I have to wear flannel too.
Gotta do it. No, I'm really glad you did, because I was like, someone has to wear flannel, because I don't have
They
mine
talked
at all.
about flannel so much.
Did you see how much flannel was in this episode? There was so much flannel. I feel like I need more to compensate what was happening in this episode.
We're talking about episode 22, which was Who We Are, and then episode 23, All Along the Watchtower. I shed a lot of tears in, not the last final episode, but the one before. But I shed tears in this last one too. Just the whole thing was just crazy. Alexis, I mean, aside from your initial tears and crying. Okay, let's just talk about the episode.
Because I'm trying not to do it right now. Okay, we can do this. I believe in us. Okay.
Okay, we see Lester, this body being slain by Mary, and...
Oh my God, sorry, the chat is so angry at the writers right now.
The chat is so angry,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I don't have a connection into the chat
It's all
right
good.
now,
It's
so-
just that, one, Ivan says we have really cool clothes today.
Thanks, Ivan!
But Renji and Billie Jean Girl and a few other people were just like, how dare they? It's just anger across the board. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's okay. Hey, Mark, can you put the chat up on the screen so I can see it? Thank you. That makes it easier. Thank you. Please. So Mary kills this guy, and then she asks Ketch who's next, and we get a list of names, which includes Jody Mills.
Oh, I'm so happy to see Jody again.
So happy to see Jody, and so happy to see that she survives, you guys.
Yay!
A woman survives. We lost a lot of people tonight.
Yep. It's too much.
So we get the bunker, Sam and Dean and Tony. And Tony says that she can actually help Dean and Sam get Mary back to being real Mary mom and not this brainwashed woman that she is. And this is her plea to them. Lies in order to help her get her out of the bunker and whatnot. They've got this vault full of lore and spells, and maybe they can do something to work on it. And they try this, they need virgin blood, so they try purifying their own blood, which, great idea. Future reference, guys.
Would never thought of that.
Hey, great idea.
Yeah.
It doesn't work, though, because this hex or whatever Ketch has on the bunker is just literally powered down, so it doesn't work. It can't be undone. So number 2, they decide, what if they go through the walls? They're they're hitting away on it. It's not doing anything. And Candace tweeted me today, and she goes, do you think Dean will be able to use the grenade launcher? I think he's going to use the grenade launcher in this episode.
He did.
And he sure as heck did. Candace, way to call it. Right through comes in, and you hear the lockdown going lock up. I guess it wasn't locked down anymore.
Yeah.
Powered up again, and Dean comes back with a little injury from the blast, but they're able to get out of the bunker. And Dean calls Garth, tells him to find some safety because we know that the British men of letters are going to be going after them. Meanwhile, Mary has showed up to Jodi's house. And then Sam remembers Jodi's left too, so they need to go and check on her. They show up. Mary's tied up. Thank goodness Alex came home when she did.
Yay.
Mary may have clocked Jodi in the face, but
Jodi's a strong cookie.
she's a strong cookie.
Yeah.
She's able to get Mary kind of contained. And Mary's just, it's kind of, this is what I love about Mary and what it reminds me of. It reminds me of Cass being Lucifer. And him jumping between the way Mark Pellegrino was as Lucifer and Mary coming back and forth as this mother figure, but then as this almost soulless, not caring woman. That's what that's what I'm kind of claiming it to be close to.
Right.
And basically, Sam calls all the hunters, the leftover hunters. These are all the hunters that are left. And you guys are right. I thought it was Donna in the preview. I watched that preview so closely. I thought it was Donna. It was not. It was just another female hunter. So I'm sorry for telling you guys that and leading you in the wrong direction last week. I didn't mean to. But they get all the hunters together, and Sam gives this emotional, like, monologue, this inspiring monologue. What did you think of it, Alexis?
It was really nice because usually it's Dean trying to, like, get the, like, you know, comeuppance and trying to, like, give, like, that pep talk for people. And Sam's has always kind of been good at it, too, but it's mostly Dean doing all that. But it was interesting to see Dean watch his younger brother grow in these past 12 seasons. 12 seasons? Yeah. Can't keep track anymore. But, yeah, it was just so moving to see Sam realize that he messed up. And that the only way to rectify it is to just keep going instead of giving up and trying to fight one-on-one. We should fight as a team. That is what the difference between the British men of letters and the American hunters are. We know what's good, and we're going to show you how we do it. You know, and it was just so good. You know?
And Dean is letting Sam kind of grow up this season. You're right. Sam kind of messed up, so this is his way to kind of fix things and go off on his own. And Dean needs to kind of, just like a mother and father, need to let their, like, baby go out and grow up and make their mistakes and make decisions. Dean's letting Sam do that, and he can't be there holding his hand every step of the way as much as we love them as a team. This was really, I think, great for Sam. It was a good confidence booster for him, and he was able to pull through. And like you said, the speech was great. It was inspiring. You know, they're so different than the British men of letters who kill innocents or kill anyone that gets in the way. But you know, the ends don't justify the means, and the hunters at the end of the day will do what's right, even when it's hard. They go by their gut, they play by their own rules. And so Sam wants the hunters to follow them.
Yeah.
So it's really great. And Dean decides not to go, so Sam has to go off on his own. He's going to save Mary. If their real mom is in there somewhere, he'll find a way to bring her back. And Dean tells Sam to come back.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, no, it was very interesting, especially because I was also proud of Dean that he didn't want to just go, all right, here we go. And, you know, even though Sam was on board with Dean wanting to, like, if Dean decided that he did want to go with them, Sam wouldn't have argued it. But I'm glad that Dean was an older brother and knew his limit, that he's like, I'm not fit.
Fully capable.
Yeah, and I really love that. And I knew that he wasn't going to just let Mom and, oh my God, why am I forgetting her name?
Tony.
Jesus, I was going to call her Tilda for a weird moment. Tony, you know, alone together. Like, there's no way to do that. And you don't want to leave, like, Alex or Jodi there to take care of them.
And we've also seen throughout this season Dean grappling with the relationship with Mary.
Yeah.
And being angry at her, but obviously, like, loving her as a mother. So it was important for him to rectify this situation. Yep. And figure out a way to move past it or do whatever it takes to get her back.
Yeah.
Even if it meant potentially sacrificing himself.
Which I was very intrigued because I knew deep down that Dean has always kind of hated his mom because of what happened. I mean, it's tough, especially for Dean, because he understands why this happened and why his mom, you know, made the deal for their boys to be safe and for, you know, her husband to be safe. But I did like that we were able to bring that all back around, because I also felt like Dean was also kind of weary in the beginning of, like, having his mom back just trying to pick up where they left off. So it was really awesome that the writers or the show in general decided, let's have this conversation, because it was hard to watch him tell his mother that I hate you, and I like over and over, like Jensen Ackles, just the acting in this scene was so rough.
The acting in Jensen, to me, kicked it out of the hit it out of the ballpark for his monologue more than Sam did.
I agree. But it's what we needed.
And I love Jared as well, but his felt a little bit more contrived. I hate to say this, but I saw him acting.
Yeah, no, you're correct, because...
And I hate saying that because he's such a good actor, and you do believe the things he's saying, but I saw him acting where Jensen, you were just there with him.
Yeah, and it also made sense because we don't see much emotion from Dean in that aspect. It's usually anger or just, lust or happiness in that aspect. But, like, really getting Dean to cry about something is rough. And we've only seen it a couple times, really.
I had these deep, heavy, like,
yeah.
That literally was my crying because I was like, I couldn't believe, like,
it was bad.
Just this, like, deep sob sound. Really,
Yeah,
I'm glad no one else was in there except Rutherford watching the show with me. He kept, like, playing with his toy and, like, looking at me like, Mom, what is going on with you? Like, I can't.
But it's great because the fact that, one, I don't know how the actress who plays Mary, at least in that scene, was able to keep it together.
Sammy Smith.
Yeah. Girl, amazing.
And to not look. I mean, I don't know if she's a mother in real life or not, but
I can't.
But that pleading, I was sitting there going, turn around. You got to look at him.
And I'm glad that she did. I didn't think she was.
I was worried.
Yeah, she did.
So before we even got to that point, we saw Dr. Hess explaining phase 2 to the British Men of Letters. There are no restrictions. Don't leave any witnesses. Ketch asks Paige to find out where Mary is, and they find out that she's in Kansas. So they know that she's at the bunker. So he's going to obviously go after her. So Tony, she pleads with Dean and says, look, I know that everyone left me to die. So I'm not going to run away from you. I'm going to try and help you as I can. I just want to see my son one more time. Give me a chance to go out on my own and try and do that. Dean does actually trust her. Props to him for doing that.
But I think it's also because he's been there where he had a son at one point.
And that moment, absolutely. Yeah. So she injects them with this hypnotic agent and sedative to put them to sleep, which is where we see Dean wake up in this armchair and go through this whole seeing himself as a child and seeing baby Sam and seeing Mary say, I'll always take care of you. I'll always love you. She's choosing this life. Mary wants good things for Dean and will never let anything happen to him. And that's when Dean says, I hate you.
Oh, God. It just... I wasn't expecting that scene, like those lines to come out.
No, I wrote a lot. Mary lied to him. He was just a kid. She promised she'd keep him safe, and yet she made a deal with Azazel. It saved Dad's life, but on November 2nd, 1983, all the yellow eyes came into Sam's room because of her deal. She left them there alone. John was just a shell. Mary was gone. The perfect life was gone. Dean had to be more than a brother. He had to be a father and a mother to keep Sam safe, and it wasn't fair, and he couldn't do it. And we see Mary listening at this point, and they killed a girl that Sam loved. He got possessed by Lucifer, tortured in hell, and he lost his soul, all because of her. And I'm just sitting there like...
The ugly cry.
Yeah, the ugly cry. Tears, that monologue.
Yeah. It was so good. Whoever wrote it, whoever did it, you need a raise, you need vacation time. I don't know what you need. You need all of the things, because... that was exactly what I needed from Dean's character these past 12 seasons. Again, we've gotten countless times where Dean has, like goosebumps, like where Dean has portrayed emotion in the best way, done pep talks, whatever. This was the
absolutely
cream of the crop. Like, oh, it was so good.
It was amazing.
But yeah, I did
with all the feels.
Yeah, but I love that when we cut back into the present, if you want to call it
the
that.
bunker.
The tears that were coming down Mary's face was all I needed. I was like, done. All right, cool. Until the next part, which I was not very happy about.
So the buzzers are going off in the bunker. Dean has said he hates Mary, but he loves her because he can't help it.
Yep.
She's his mom, and he understands because he's made deals to save the ones he's loved more than once. He forgives her for all of it. On the other side, they can start all over, get it right this time, but she needs to fight, she needs to look at Dean and really see him, please. And that's when she turns, tears in her eyes. She says, Dean. He says, Mom, then nothing. And the next thing you know, Ketch is in the bunker. Tony's
Dead.
Throat is
So
slit.
dead.
She's dead. A fight breaks out. He's throwing some punches, and he's really, like, he's kicking Dean's butt.
Yeah, which is, unfortunate because the fact that Dean is injured. Also, even though you guys all know, especially, I don't like Tony. She didn't deserve to go out like that. She should have seen her son one last time. That sucks. That absolutely sucked. I mean, again, she lied and she's done terrible things in her life, but she still deserves to see her kid. Sorry, just had to get that out there.
I don't think she did.
Oh, hey, that's fine.
I thought that Dean giving her that opportunity, yes, I appreciated that. If she would have been able to see her son one last time, I think that would have been nice. But I think the torture of Sam, the lies, she brainwashed Mary, but they're in this mess. I have
No remorse.
my empathy
Yeah.
for her is very, very slim.
Ugh. But that's fine. That's
Her
what
beating down like the boys and stuff, like,
Yeah.
I mean, too much for me to come back and feel sorry for her. As we were talking about last week, I definitely do want to know what's going to happen with this kid,
Yeah.
because now he's an orphan. We were all pretty sure that Ketch is the father,
Yeah.
but now this kid's an orphan,
Yeah, completely, because Ketch and Tony are both dead.
so don't know what's going to happen there. But Dean is able to kind of overcome Mr. Ketch and using this wooden like thing or
I
whatever.
think it was like a table
And
or a
then
chair.
Ketch pulls out a gun and he's like, I'm not stupid. And he goes to shoot Dean.
And I
And you
immediately
hear
knew.
of a shot.
Yep.
And I
knew.
knew it was Mary.
Yep.
And Mary shoots him. And he turns around. And I'm like, tears again.
Oh, yeah.
Tears again. Because I'm like, this was hard for her. She had to completely turn too from what she's been brainwashed. And she was able to see the light. She's back.
Yeah.
And then and then Ketch says he knew Mary was a killer, but they both were. And that's when she shoots him in the head. And I'm like, whew.
Chills.
Yeah. Like the shots we saw of the deaths we saw were very poignant in this finale,
Yeah.
2-hour finale.
Yeah.
So all of that happens. Meanwhile, at the same time, at the British Men of Letters home base, the hunters arrive, full steam ahead. Alarms are sounding. Dr. Hess tells all her employees they know what to do. Shots are fired on both sides. Hunters are dying. Dr.
Men
Hess's
of-
employees are
yeah.
dying. And a hunter kills Paige. Dr. Hess comes in and breaks his neck. Like she's kind of a badass as well.
Yeah, no.
Like,
I mean, it makes
she's not
sense.
just giving the orders. She's
delivering them.
delivering the blows too, which I like to see. If you're not just going to have your minions fight your battles, you're going to
No.
get in there and get your hands dirty as well. I do
mean-
like seeing that.
I mean, I'm assuming she didn't get to where she was without a little bit of fighting. So I feel like that's what happened. She's probably been through training. There was probably someone before her, and then she just worked her way up the ranks. Mm-hmm. And it makes sense.
Well,
insane.
Dr. Hess ends up locking herself into this room after elbowing Jody in the face, which of course the hunters break in and get to her.
Come on, Jody, put your hands up.
Yeah.
Jeez.
She said, Dr. Hess says, she doesn't even, first off, she doesn't even know that it's Sam, which is which.
Oh my God, that made me
Lame.
so irritated. I was like, you don't know your facts? Like, you don't know the difference between the Winchester brothers? Get the hell out of
Come
here.
on. One's got great hair. The other one's just
Gorgeous.
ridiculously handsome. They're both handsome, but
But
so she says they're going to sever ties with all the British Men of Letters if they kill her, and things to reconsider, things that they don't know. Lucifer's back thanks to Crowley, who's dead, and Lucifer's
though-
looking out for his son, tracking Kelly and Cass, and if Lucifer gets to the Nephilim, they'll be unstoppable. And a voice comes through his computer saying to listen to her, so who's on the other end of the
I know who that
computer?
person is.
And Sam shoots the computer. He says pass. And then when Dr. Hess goes to grab a gun to shoot Sam, Jody shoots her right in the head. And another, like, I rewound all these shots
So good.
because they were so good.
And they were all headshots too.
all headshots.
Insane.
Really getting them. And when the hunters leave the British Men of Letters base, they just blow the whole thing up.
Oh, so good.
They blow up the operation.
I'm glad that we don't have to deal with this again. I mean, we might because the fact that
We don't know who's
who was
ahead
on-
of Dr. Hess.
Yeah, but at least in America, we don't have to deal with it.
I
For now.
wanted her shot just for mixing up the names, Renji. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad that we don't have to technically deal with them as of right now. Like at least in America, they're done. I don't know if we'll ever travel to London for this, but you know, we'll see what happens.
It leaves it open for that possibility. So Dean and Mary are back in the bunker. Dean's found some painkillers. Mary admits that all this has happened because of her, and Dean says it's going to be okay. Since she's been back, she knows she's been distant and cold at times, but she was trying to make things right, and she'd seen what she'd done and how much she'd hurt them. So it was really hard on her, which is why we saw her kind of disappearing in the beginning and then kind of latching on to Ketch because they made her feel wanted and needed.
Yep.
And the boys couldn't necessarily. Sam did, but I don't think Dean was able to let it go until these moments. And Mary was really worried that Sam wouldn't forgive her, but we know, of course he would. He comes in and they're hugging. This is where tears again for the third time this episode.
Oh yeah, that group hug.
The group hug.
It was so nice. I loved it. I was like, yes.
And then we get to carry on my wayward son.
Oh my God, I can't. This episode really just tore up my entire soul. It's still there. So, you know, if anyone, no cause for alarm, but it definitely really hit me just in the giant feels, like all
Now, let me ask you a question, Alexis,
no.
and you guys in the chat.
No.
Are you guys glad they did this all as one big episode, or would you have preferred seeing what happened this week, and waiting until next week to see the finale? I know, obviously, we want them together because it's
One
much
right
more
after the
exciting, but would it have been better if they had done one at a time and ended the British Men of Letters
And then waited
waited another week, leaving us on this cliffhanger of what was going to happen with Kelly, Lucifer, Crowley, and the Nephilim?
I mean, I feel like the way that the first episode ended, that with the British Men of Letters being completely wiped out, I feel like that's enough of like okay, now we only have one thing to worry about, the Nephilim. See you guys next week.
So see you next week. You think we could have waited another week?
I feel like we could have. I'm glad that we didn't, because now we have that out of the way, and now we can, speculate for next season. But at the same time, I wouldn't be upset if I was like, oh, that's how it ended? Oh my God. Like, no, like I would be like, okay, group hug. We got Mary back. People died, and that sucked, and now we just really got to focus now. So
and it's a strong...
Yeah.
Into the next one. I wouldn't have obviously a cliffhanger of the baby being born. I wouldn't have minded if this was the season finale tonight.
And just left it at that?
And just left it at the end of the British Men of Letters and leave us hanging till next season to see what happens with Lucifer, Crowley. I mean, it really would have
It would have sucked, but I get what you're saying.
But think about how they've left us hanging in other seasons.
Oh my God.
Dean being a demon Dean, the boys dying, death getting killed, like all these things that have happened.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like
There's a cliffhanger, obviously, right now for the end of this season, but I feel like ending it with the British Men of Letters would have made everyone go, what?
Yeah. I mean, I agree with the Luz Chesters in the chat. Like it together, but it felt crammed. I do agree to a point that I felt like, again, it was a lot, but I did like it together because it just made sense.
It fits all together because you're now finishing all the storylines in one episode, because that's what I was wondering. I'm like, how are you going to tie up all these loose ends in one episode?
It was a bit much.
So they did need to do it in two, but yeah, I liked it together.
Yeah. I would have survived. Yeah, I agree with Casket Fan. I would have survived if they ended it right then and there and started the next season with the next episode. Can you imagine if we started season 13. which is the unlucky number, with what happened in this episode? I think everyone would have lost their mind, but it would have been interesting to see how they would pick up from that.
Yes.
Oh, damn.
Right? Okay.
All
right. So let's talk about the finale episode, episode 23 of season 12, All Along the Watchtower. So Cass is looking out over this beautiful lake and mountain view.
Oh my God, how gorgeous.
Gorgeous. And a small house that Kelly's in. She asked God for help while she's putting together this crib from IKEA, which is hilarious. Cass is good at following instructions. He'll put it together.
Yeah, sorry. As a person, I don't know if you had to live on IKEA furniture, but like,
I put together some IKEA furniture in my time.
Yeah, like my entire house when I was very young was like all IKEA furniture, and I loved watching my parents just like completely lose their minds trying to put it together until I became an adult, and I was like, oh, that's why they're so angry. It's terrible.
Did you see the commercial or promo that Ryan Reynolds did?
No.
So, well, this quick tangent. Ryan Reynolds has to put together a crib for the baby that he and Blake Lively were having.
Yes,
So
I
he's
did
drinking
see
a
this.
beer and putting this crib together, and finally he just gets a bunch of duct tape. And he's like, that's good. We're good. And there's like screws and all these pieces laying everywhere because he hasn't used a damn thing.
I need to rewatch that.
It's a great, like, I laugh every time I see it.
Yeah.
So,
Oh my God.
Kelly's really bummed, obviously, because she knows she's not going to be able to see the baby.
Yeah.
She's not going to be able to watch it grow up. She knows that this is the end for her. But Cass doesn't know how hard this is for Kelly, but he promises her that he will do everything. He will give his life for the Nephilim. Cass will raise him and make him someone Kelly would be proud of, and she knows this. Now, as Cass is saying this, and now we know Cass obviously doesn't survive, and this Nephilim is going to be growing up on its own. I don't even know what this means with this Nephilim, and we're going to get to this Nephilim later because I'm not a fan right now.
I'm so confused with this Nephilim right now.
So confused, and I'm not happy. I'm not happy about that. I'm more upset about this Nephilim, I think, than I am
Yeah.
about the deaths right now.
I think I'm more in shock with the whole fact of like what happened in this episode, but with the Nephilim, I'm just confused with everything and kind of a little irked because I'm just like, so now what? What was the whole point of this entire thing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Sam and Dean and Mary are in the bunker. They've beat the British men of letters, and now they have to deal with Lucifer.
Oh, God.
And Crowley shows up and reminds us that he went into the rat's body,
I knew it.
which you guys said last week.
It was so obvious. Like
I love that he dug himself out of the grave. That was great. I loved it.
hysterical.
So he said that they need Rowena to slam Lucifer back into the cage. They call her, and we see this torched body on the floor, on the ground. Lucifer answers the call, and he says she's indisposed of.
So
And he fired her up just in case. So we're pretty sure Rowena's gone.
So, yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people were asking how I think, which we'll get to with Cass later, if Rowena's going to come back. My philosophy, you know this, my philosophy has always been like, if there is no body, there is no death. But we technically saw a body. I don't know if it's her body. I don't know if she was able to replace it with a different body. There have been so many things. But with Rowena, she's always been kind of weak. Not like as a character, but like she becomes weak in the knees when Lucifer's around. Mm-hmm. It could have happened.
And he certainly wanted to get his revenge on her, so...
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. And I don't think he would take mercy on her in any way, shape, and form. So... And it hurt me, like, seeing, like, the locks of hair, and, like, it just, but, like, I really don't think Rowena's coming back. If she does, hey, that's awesome. I will be completely down for that, but from the way that it looked, I really don't think she's coming back. Do you?
I would like to say that she's going to come back just because I love her and I love her character, and I wanted to see more about the witches and the coven and everything. She's certainly feisty, and she certainly has some tricks up her sleeve, but that body and the bones and the lock of hair and everything really makes me nervous to think that she might be gone for good. But it is supernatural.
Yeah,
we know
she can always
anyone
come
can
back.
come back, as we see somebody later come back that we love.
Yeah.
I love that Lucifer was like, it was messy and screamy, but it had to be done. Since Lucifer's going to be a dad and he can't raise a baby from a jail cell, and he knows the boys will try, but they won't be able to kill him. And with Rowena dead, they won't be able to get him back into the cage. And at this point, Sam and Dean don't matter, and he hangs up the phone. I mean, and he's kind of right.
I mean, true.
He's confident, he's cocky, he's right. Dean says Lucifer's right. They can't kill him or get him back in the cage. They need to find Cass and Kelly and just keep them moving. They know Kelly's going to have the baby soon. Things get biblical when a Nephilim is about to be born. So things are going to get weird. There's going to be storms. There's going to be something that they're going to find out. Not a two-headed goat, but other things that they'll find out. And Cass has read 74 books on babies, and he knows that everyone poops, which is why they've gotten so many diapers.
So many diapers.
And
which I don't think they even needed.
as she touches this truck, this gold kind of spirit
Yeah, or thing comes
thing
out of
comes
her.
off of her and like kind of flies away.
I thought it was gonna reach the boys. I thought that's what it was, to like tell them where they were. I didn't think what was gonna happen next.
Yeah, I didn't understand this. This got a little confusing and strange, and I'm not a fan of the direction it's going in. But if this is what we have to watch for the first couple episodes of next season, I'm okay. I don't want it to take up half the season.
I gotta hope not. I do have predictions about it because the fact that we lost a lot of people today.
Okay.
I feel like that might be our scapegoat.
Ah,
See what I mean?
yes. Okay. Well, okay. We'll get there.
Yeah.
So, Cass touches this gold light, and it takes him to a dark place with red flames, and a demon hits him, but the demon is killed by ...
Yep.
I want to come back to that because we see Kelly making a little video for the baby
Oh
she's
my God,
calling
so cute.
Jack. Tears again.
No, super cute.
She knows he'll be okay because he has an angel watching over him, and she loves him. He has an angel watching over him. What angel?
Yeah. Do you mean an archangel? Do you mean a regular angel?
Yeah.
Like, which one do you mean by that?
Love that. I don't know if I looked up the director of the episode 22. He's directed a ton of episodes for Supernatural. I should have looked more. I had only so little time.
Yeah.
But I should look into which episodes he's directed and if they've been more emotionally charged. But he's done a ton of stuff for CW, and I wonder if I don't think he directed episode 23.
Okay.
I think he just did 22.
All right.
But once again, we get this teary message, and then the gold light flashes again as she has a contraction. So she's definitely controlling this gold thing. So they're at the bunker. Crowley shows up. Dean hits him, asks if Lucifer is out. He's about to cut his throat when Sam says he might be able to help since Rowena knew a spell. Crowley didn't know Rowena was dead. He thought he'd be the one to kill her.
Makes sense.
He wasn't bummed about it at all. I was hoping for, like, just one moment of remorse.
Nah,
I wanted it.
I know, it would be nice, but I feel like Crowley's just so done with her crap.
I mean, she killed his son, and
yeah, it's a lot.
I just wanted one second of his face.
I also think that Crowley is just so done with everything that he just doesn't have time to to like emote. He was just like, all right, I want to help you because I messed up and Lucifer's out. Help me.
Well, and that's why Crowley wanted to win. He thought by putting Lucifer on a leash that everyone would kind of like, no one would challenge him again. But he didn't realize how much he's hated his job and all these minions complaining and all the paperwork. And whenever there's a world-ending crisis at hand, he knows where to place his bets with the boys. So they've got a deal. After they put Lucifer back in the cage together, he'll seal the gates of hell, and they'll never see another demon again.
Dude,
I like this deal.
this is huge.
I love this.
Huge. And I'm totally fine with Crowley just living amongst the living
and
just deal with it.
And this is a good way to tie up the loose ends if season 13 ends up being the end of the series, this odd, dark number. If this ends up being the end of the series and the gates of hell are closed off, it ties things up with a nice bow.
It makes sense.
Also leaves possibility for a spin-off somewhere else to do something with it reopening.
Still want a Bobby Rufus spinoff, just
Yeah.
saying.
But so Sam, Dean, and Mary are working while Crowley drinks a scotch, and he asks if this is what they're always doing.
I loved that. I mean, it was so minuscule, but I love the fact that this is what we see is them typing and talking to each other, or just silence.
And working to figure out what's going on. And they find out that there's a power outage in Washington, and it's near a house that's being rented to James Novak, a.k.a. Cass. And Mrs. Wendine stabs Crowley in the hand with a blade to keep him on the bunker while they all leave, which we know is not going to keep Crowley behind.
I wasn't expecting him to do that, but when it did, I was like, and Crowley's not going to stay there.
No.
But good try, though.
Nice try.
Yeah.
So we get back to Kelly, who's calling out for Cass. She's starting to have contractions. He shows up out of nowhere. We still don't know how he escaped this, like, apocalyptic gray world. I almost felt like we're getting back to Gromby Central.
I was very, I was scared that I was like, are we in purgatory again?
Yeah, it's purgatory, exactly. Which they kind of, that's
It kind of felt like
the way they were explaining it later. So the baby's coming, this gold light's flashing again, pressure waves are far apart, aka contractions,
I love
according
that
to
they're
his
called.
doula online class that he took.
I'm going to start calling those that whenever I get pregnant. That's
Yeah.
what it's going to be called. Pressure waves.
Pressure waves. Part devil, part celestial being. The light's growing bigger and stronger. And Kelly's going through the contractions, and Cass says he saw the future. He saw a world without pain, hunger, or want, and that this child will create without fear, suffering, or hate in paradise. This is what he saw. Guys, we're going to come back to this at the end because I'm going to ask you, do you really think that's what's going to happen with this Nephilim that's being born? Because I don't, but we're going to come back to that. Sam, Dean, and Mary arrive. The house has been warded, but not against Lucifer, so they can't protect the Nephilim or Kelly, but they won't let Lucifer get his hands on Jack. Kelly can't be moved. They're not sure of how much time they have. Cass won't be able to torch Lucifer because Jack technically did that to Dagon, not Cass. Cass heals Dean, thankfully.
Yep.
Dean at full power.
Thank God.
When they walk out the back door, they find out that this is a tear in space and time. It's Earth, but an alternate reality. The power of Jack seems to be puncturing the universe, and they don't want to know but what's on the other side, but they need to find out. So they're transferred into this grayscale Earth, locked between heaven and hell, which
Again, sounds like purgatory. Just saying.
Angels fighting demons, only a few humans which are caught in between. Jack opened the door and he will be the one to close it. And then Bobby approaches them.
Yay!
Which, you guys, I've been so excited because I finally finished Breaking Bad.
Oh, nice.
And Jim Beaver's in Breaking Bad.
Yes.
So I'm just so excited when I see people from other shows
On
in
other shows.
other shows that I love. Yeah, and I'm like, yes, Bobby. Bobby doesn't recognize him because it's not their Bobby.
Yeah.
This is this post-apocalyptic purgatory weird world Bobby, whose basically hobby is killing angels. But he has heard of John Winchester. That's the only Winchester he's ever heard of because who's been dead for 40 years. He met Mary, and after drinking some moonshine, she told stories about him, but she was killed by Azazel 10 years ago. And this is a world where Sam was never born, a world they never saved. So what year is it in this post-apocalyptic purgatory world?
I also feel like we don't have... In my head, this world that they're living in is purgatory because these people have died. They're stuck in purgatory, but they don't know what year it is.
So if Mary died 10 years ago, that would make it 1993.
Yep. And so, but it makes
Guys,
sense.
It's an alternate Earth. No one has heard of this unscientific multi-universe theory, not purgatory.
No, I know that. I'm just saying that I know that that's not what it is. I'm just saying that it would make sense to me more that if it was purgatory because Bobby's in it, Rufus is in it, they're dead. Just saying. So that if Mary is gone because she's in the real world now, the boys don't exist because they're not dead, they're alive, it would just make sense. And because he's been in purgatory for so long, it could potentially mean that he's forgotten about the boys because they don't exist because they're not dead and in purgatory, whether they're in hell or in heaven, they're in the real world. So it would make sense if they're fighting stuff that's just in purgatory. Again, if it is going to be a multi-universe, we're just going to stick with that. I'm just saying in my head, I've just pictured it as purgatory.
Yeah, we're not saying that it is purgatory.
It's not.
It's just this weird world, which we don't know what to call it right now.
Yeah, it's just a multiverse. That's what I've been calling it.
Yes.
But I know it's not, we're not trying to say that it is. We're just saying that that's what it reminds me of. And I would like for it to be, but it's definitely just a multiverse. Just another random universe that's part of Supernatural. Period.
So Bobby says when this world was opened up, alarms went off, and he got there in time to see Cass get attacked by a tempter demon because demons have horns now. And that Bobby's passion's killing angels, and they have angel killing bullets. It's Mad Max versus Lucifer. And they get flashed. Hello?
Yeah, no, we're all good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They get flashed back to Washington, where Crowley shows up, and he's there to answer all of their problems.
Right.
Mary's helping Kelly through the contractions, which are now less than 5 minutes apart, which means baby's coming soon. And it's almost time. Kelly knows she's dying, but wouldn't Mary also die for her sons?
Yeah, completely.
Foreshadowing for the end of the episode.
Yep.
Cass has faith in Jack, but Dean has faith in Sam, Mary, and even Crowley. They have a plan. Cass tells Kelly everything's going to be fine, not to worry, because she needs to remember paradise is waiting for her.
Right.
So we know she's hopefully going to heaven. So Lucifer shows up, And Sam tells him that Chuck, aka God, will stop him. So God and Amara are off on their sabbatical. I'm hoping they return next season, but that's more in predictions.
Yeah.
Lucifer tosses Cass aside, and Sam and Dean run away to the light, and then they flash away. Lucifer follows them. He's wanted the apocalypse. He's finally got it. Dean has a bet with Bobby if this gun works against an archangel. He's shooting him with this machine gun. Lucifer's eyes are flashing red. It is slowing him down, but when he runs out of ammo, Lucifer's able to kind of fight back. Meanwhile, Sam and Crowley are doing this ritual to seal the rip, lock Lucifer there. But at the end of the day, they need a sacrifice. They need a life to heal this opening, this rip in the universe. And I'm like, whose life are they sacrificing? And I'm thinking, Crowley's not going to sacrifice his own.
Yeah.
He's watching Dean get beat down by Lucifer right now. They're going to sacrifice Dean, which they're not going to do. But that's they're pushing you in that way. Crowley throws Lucifer off of Dean. It's personal this time. And Crowley hates Lucifer deeply, pulls out the angel blade, and tells Lucifer that he'll lose every time. Lucifer tells him he's going to lose every time, and Crowley says he's right. Stabs himself, killing himself with this angel blade. The spell goes off, and then the boys get flashed back to Washington again as Cass goes after Lucifer to stab him. Kelly says she loves Jack, then flashes yellow. The baby is born. Mary gets thrown off the bed. So the spell has gone off. Sam and Dean are in the real world. We think Cass is going to stab Lucifer, or that he has stabbed Lucifer. As Cass flashes back into Washington, he gets stabbed in the back by Lucifer.
Oh, boy.
Why didn't we see the angel wings on the ground?
That's what I'm saying. As much as I think that Cass is dead, I really don't think he's dead.
Okay.
That also goes for Crowley. I mean, but I don't know. So.
We don't know. Now, playtime's over. Mary says to get away from Sam and Dean. She's got these angel brass knuckles. She keeps hitting him in the face. Lucifer drops the blade as she keeps hitting him. Lucifer ends up pulling Mary into the rip, and it closes behind them because now the Nephilim is born. Lucifer's eyes flash red, and the boys yell no.
Woof.
A yellow flash upstairs happens. Sam finds Kelly, who's dead.
But peacefully, though.
Peacefully
It could have
dead.
been... We thought that it was going to be a terrible birth. At least I did. I definitely thought it wasn't going to be pretty. She was going to be suffering the entire time.
No, it was almost as if this baby just kind of appeared out of nowhere. She didn't even have to
It's not even a
give
baby.
birth to it.
It's like a child.
Yeah, and there's footprints leading to a crib, and I didn't even think it was a child. It's like a man.
I couldn't
crouched
tell.
in the corner with these yellow eyes flashing, and that's when I
I
said,
hope it's a teenager.
I go, Jack the Ripper?
Oh, holy crap! Sorry,
Jack the Ripper.
That just broke my mind.
Right?
Oh my god! But yeah, I'm assuming because for set reasons we can't have a child because we already had Amara, but we didn't have her for that very long as a kid. We had her become a teenager, then an adult very quickly. So I feel like even though we were like, oh, we're gonna have this birth scene, I was like, I don't think they're gonna have a baby because we already did that spiel. So now that we have like a young adult teenager, I don't really know because I couldn't see the age from the face.
All you see is his eyes.
Yep. And I don't know.
Okay, guys, we just made it through 2 episodes.
So we want to jump into all the prediction territory.
Yeah, like it's just gonna be full-on predictions for like the next 10-15 minutes.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, so technically, Cass and Crowley are dead.
Yep.
But we didn't see angel wings.
Yep.
So, is Cass really dead? Is Crowley dead? Is Crowley really dead because he's in this post-apocalyptic world? Could he have survived that?
I mean, I would want it to be a thing. I just don't know because I don't know how that world works. Also, we had that glimpse of Lucifer's eyes going red while Mary was still in there. I mean, clearly Mary probably got away. I don't think she died, but I don't really know. There's such a giant question mark because we don't know how this multiverse works. So if Crowley, even though I knew that Crowley was going to sacrifice himself, I don't know for sure if he's completely dead.
Well, and Mary said to Kelly before she died that she would die for her sons.
Yeah.
So can this post-apocalyptic world hold Lucifer?
I don't think so. I really don't.
How
I feel
is
like
he going to get out? Is Jack going to let him out?
I highly doubt that.
Jack's the one who can open and close it.
But that's why I kind of want this like kind of broody teenager kind of storyline, because it will just be like, I don't want to talk to my dad, whatever. And like, I mean, I think that's too campy for Supernatural, but like, you know what I mean? I'm also very intrigued to see how Sam and Dean raise this teenager.
I didn't see the wings, Renee.
Oh, did they?
They said the wings were on the ground. You can see them when the camera pans away.
I don't know. Where I was watching, it was really dark. So
yeah, it was really dark. I couldn't see them. I just saw dirt around him because he was kind of, the way he was placed was the same way that Rowena's body was, where he was not in full-on fetal position, but his knees were bent. Mm-hmm. I didn't see the wings. Did you guys? Did you guys see the wings?
If you guys end up rewatching it, can you guys like screen grab the shot and send it to us through Twitter? Because I want to see it, because I couldn't see. I assumed that he was completely dead because of the way that the flashes were happening, just like with Crowley. So deep down, as much as I was like, I mean, I couldn't see through my tears either, but like, if they are dead for sure, I'm very intrigued to see how they're gonna do season 13 without them. 2, I feel like because we have multiverses, they could be alive in the multiverse
somewhere else.
Yeah. They could like
just Cass's body go up to heaven and he's
put somewhere else.
Yeah.
I was thinking that at least with Cass, he's going to be put somewhere else in a different vessel, but with different memories. Like, I feel like it's just like we're starting anew, kind of like with Buddha's, like.
And coming back and is an angel taking care of raising Jack.
Yeah.
Because do you really think that Sam and Dean are going to want to raise
That's why
Jack?
I think it's going to be so funny. I mean, it looks like everyone has seen the wings. Like I said, send us a screenshot because I really want to see them, because I could not see that. Again, probably through my, tear-ridden eyes. But yeah, I don't think they would kill off Cass like that and just never bring him back. But you never know.
Like I said, right before we started taping, I'm like, they did Cass dirty. They done him dirty.
They did everybody dirty. I mean, besides Crowley. Crowley did that on himself, which is fine, because it was not the one thing that he's done that's like kind of like, like
for mankind.
Kind of thing. I wouldn't, as much as it would suck, if this was the end of Crowley's character, I'd be okay with it, because he went out on his own terms, but I also don't want it to, because you guys know how much I love Crowley. So
I love Crowley too, and so I think this is the best way. If this is him being done for sure, I think this was, like you said, the best way for him to go out, because he went out on his own terms.
Yeah, it wasn't somebody trying to, like you mentioned.
Yeah, or Lucifer killing him and then him going into the rat. Like, he did it himself. This is what he kind of wanted. And I know some of you guys said, well, who's going to rule hell?
We don't need it now.
Yeah, we don't know.
I mean, we had it at one point where nobody was really ruling hell and the demons kind of just figured it out on themselves. But at the same time, I feel like the demons are kind of just done with having somebody always over their head. Maybe they could just do whatever they want. And then that gives Sam and Dean more stuff to deal with.
And figure out a way to seal off hell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, again, if they decide to kill off Crowley, I'm okay with this, because like I said, like, he's always getting the crappy end of the stick. Same thing with Cass too. Like, this is the first time in a while where Cass has actually been kind of doing well, and I don't want it to end, but I also will be okay with it, if that was how it is. But I don't, at least for Cass, I think he'll come back. Not Crowley though. Or Rowena.
I think it's definitely possible for Cass to come back. Flashback type of thing. I hope that this wasn't him. I hope this wasn't the end of, I hope it wasn't the end of either of them. But I'm more okay with Crowley going than I am with Cass going.
Correct.
I definitely think there could be flashbacks of Cass, or somehow Cass has implanted memories into this Nephilim of good.
Yeah.
Because he did see through his eyes. Now, so Cass says he saw a future without pain, hunger, or want that this child will create, without fear, suffering, or hate. This baby or man-child or whatever it is looked pretty evil to me.
Oh, yeah, no.
I don't see what Cass is saying. And I don't know if that was the Nephilim kind of like duping him.
Yeah.
And Lucifer kind of working his magic on the Nephilim, and that's what the Nephilim's gonna explain. And Jack's gonna explain to Sam and Dean that was Lucifer saying, like, making Cass believe that in order for the baby to be born. I don't know what they're gonna do, how they're gonna do that. But I also go back to the fact that Mary said that she would die for her sons. So in this post-apocalyptic world, meta universe, whatever it is, that like we've said, anybody can show up. I do believe Mary would give her life for her sons. I would love for her to find Bobby and for them to team up and work together. I know all of you guys get so excited when Bobby comes back. I think this is a great way to bring Charlie back. And as Sam and Dean said, I think this is a perfect opportunity for season 13 to bring back Chuck and Amara.
Yeah. I mean, also for people who are saying that they sent us screenshots, I don't see it in our Twitter. So if you sent it, you need to tell us where it is. But at the same time, yeah, like I said, this multiverse is a good way to sit there and actually try to bring back people. Like, I feel like Rowena could be back here because of the fact that it's a different time in there. So we might get different versions of Cass and Crowley and Rowena and everybody that we've lost.
A third character or a second character for some of them, or third character for some of them.
That would be nice. A lot of people are asking, do you think Chuck's going to be able to bring them back? Possibly. Or deal with the Nephilim specifically? I don't know.
Cass, yes. Crowley, no. For Chuck being able to bring him back.
Yeah. I also don't think that Chuck would bring back Rowena. I also think that we can't keep relying on Chuck.
No, and our truck and truck.
That Chuck has drove
Chuck
off.
and Amara considered angels.
Well, no, because they're a higher being.
They're a higher being.
It's God and God's
So
sister.
they're not raising the baby like an angel's supposed to be raising the baby.
I mean, you never know. They could try, but I feel like it's not their responsibility, if that makes sense. But I don't know. I just feel like if they use Chuck, it's a scapegoat. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
I agree with Art Master Austin Prophet. Hi. What if Jack brings back Cass? Do you think it could happen? I do think
that'd be nice.
I think it's possible, and I think that would be kind of a cool way to get him back in. But I think that will be short-lived. Which I wouldn't mind if that was short-lived, because he said he was going to be raised by an angel, and then Jack really sends him to his death.
Interesting.
Because Lucifer gets into Jack's head, and therefore he has to kill him.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, yeah,
We know for sure that the hole is closed up. Jack can open it and close it.
I mean, they might ask him to open it up for
I don't
Mary.
know exactly, but I don't know what kind of deal they're going to have to do.
Yeah, and also, again, because I think he's a broody teenager, I don't think he's going to do it anyway.
And cosmic consequences of killing Billy, when a Reaper eventually has to come and get someone's soul,
God.
what does happen now? Who's
forgot
really
about
coming
that.
for the souls?
I completely forgot about that.
This has been on my mind from the beginning. What are we going to do? What is this cosmic consequence? Is this a post-apocalyptic world, the consequence? Because we could see Billy return there.
There's too many holes in this plot.
Yes.
Because we can either bring everybody back through the alternate or multiple universes that we're going through, or we completely say, F it, let's just not bring anybody back and start from scratch. And this is what we get.
Which they can't start from scratch in season 13.
They can't. Like, they just can't. So they have to bring back at least one person. And I think it's going to be Cass. At least. And if they decide not to, then we're just going to pretend like it never happened and we're just going to keep going.
I mean, because we're definitely going to see a battle and throwdown between Lucifer and Mary. And I'm hoping that Mary and Bobby team up. Hopefully Charlie comes back. It'd be great.
It would be nice.
We know that John's gone. But I did see some news that John is supposed to appear. Harry Dean Stanton, I think his name is. I think that's his name. Is supposed to come back next season.
Okay.
He's rumored to come back. So John Winchester is going to be back next season. I'd love to see a reunion between him and Mary as well.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Right?
Yeah, and it's all gonna happen in that weird universe that we saw. It has to. There's no, I don't know where else we can put it. well, what do the angels have their own secret heaven? I mean, like I said, with Supernatural, it's tough to make anything finalized because you can literally bring anybody back. Because that's how the boys are.
That's the greatest part about the show is that it's not really ever final. So you don't have to really lose these people that you care about and put your heart and soul into because they're there.
And even if, let's say, they did decide to kill off the character, we have flashbacks all the time. So they'll come back, or it'll come back in some sort of weird dream where someone will try to pretend to be like a ghost or a demon of
that person.
So again,
Jeffrey Dean Morgan, thank you.
Yeah.
Harry Dean Stanton is from Pretty in Pink.
Oh, is he?
He's the dad in Pretty in Pink.
That's so funny. It's fine.
Sorry, guys. Thank you.
It's late. It's midnight.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Wow. I had the 3 names right. And I had Dean the middle.
It's all good. It's late. It's midnight out here. And I know most of you guys are also, it's late for you there. But anyway.
Going on hour 16 right now for my day.
Yeah, like, holy crap. So, like, yeah. So I feel like as much as it pains us and we cried over a lot of these characters that we've known for so many seasons now, it doesn't mean the end for them completely because we'll get them back in a different format.
Yes.
So, but I am intrigued to see more than our deaths of our really awesome characters is what we're going to do with this Nephilim, period.
Because this Nephilim is a small human.
So just
like an adult human. I couldn't tell just by the little
which is insane.
Crouching thing.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of this. I don't like this. I don't see good coming out of this right now at this point. I see only evil. I don't know how we're going to get paradise out of this.
I don't know how Dean's going to try not to kill.
I don't know what Cass was talking about, but
he saw something that we didn't.
# kill the Nephilim.
Let's just start that hashtag now. But I am intrigued to see again where this mysterious season 13 ends or begins and ends, because I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know. I don't like it.
You guys, you've been on this ride with us for the past 8-9 months since we started in September, October. We made it to the finale tonight. There's so much to talk about. You guys can always feel free to tweet us throughout the year.
Yes.
Until we get back for season 13, which is probably going to come back in September or October. Alexis, tell everyone where they can talk to you.
You guys can find all of the Supernatural therapy sessions at Torres 890. That's ATORRES 890. I'm on a bunch of after shows to fill in that void if you guys want to talk more about stuff that is coming back or ending during the next few weeks. Catch me there. Also, we'll be working with another podcast company that's releasing on June 4th called Trend Punk. You can find them on Facebook at Trend Punk Media. I'm going to be doing a bunch of stuff there with TV, movies, and dating, actually.
Yeah, girl.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Where can they find you?
You guys, this is Lyndsey here. You guys can find me on all things social media at Lyndsey Wegner. That's LYNDSEYWEGNER, or my blog, lyndseywegner.blogspot.com. I have Real Housewives of New York on Wednesdays at 7:15 p.m. If you guys want to watch another show that's not at all like Supernatural, feel free to tweet me throughout the year. Let me know what you're watching on Netflix while we wait for season 13 to come out. And we'll see you guys in a few months. Thank you so much for your amazing support throughout this year.
Bye, guys. Mwah.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.